from the start of the Manx Grand Prix part of the Isle of Man Festival of Motorcycling. That famous tap on the shoulder will be coming the way of Mike Brown very, very shortly, in 15 seconds time. Now the starter is the man who led away the 1978 newcomers race, Bill Snelling. We heard from him earlier as we approach 5 seconds now to go. Mike Brown is looking down Glen Crutchie Road. The revs are getting higher. The tap on the shoulder comes and away he goes on the Kawasaki. Now number 1, Thomas Maxwell. Under the RST bridge, Nathan Harrison now on the Chris Preston and Quayside Tyre Suzuki. "19 away on the Kawasaki is Stephen Haddo. Royal Air Force Motorsports Kawasaki of number 14, James Field away, dragging the leg behind and back now on the pegs. Number 16, the flag drops for John Pielud on the Suzuki. Arnie Shelton, number 12, is next away. First Honda, and it is Lloyd Collins, number 2. Little bunny hop of the front wheel, but down it goes again onto tarmac. 11 is Herb Somson on the One Racing Yamaha. Tap on the shoulder for number 6, Alan Johnston on the Kawasaki, the Sarah's Cottage Kawasaki. Triumph Power for Ben Shuttlewood now, number 7. Number 17 is Grant Gaskell. Andrew McAllister on the Suzuki, number 8 is next away. Here's the quickest of the newcomers B class, Barry Sheehan on the Kawasaki. Super Twin bikes away next, back to the A's. It's number 3, Benjamin Plant. And he'll be followed by number 9, James Reveley on the Yamaha. And here's the Colombian, number 21, Daniel Fernandez. He's in the B class, as you can hear from the deep throatier noise. Number 15, David Murphy, is away next. Team Mirai Kawasaki of Yoshihiro Kishimoto away, number 27. Honda Power for Samuel Grief. Honda Power for Samuel Grief. James Smith next away. And number 20, James Buchanan on the Triumph will be the last away, but let's go to Glen Helen and Dave Christian.
First man on the road just here now, Tim. Throttles back, tips that in. Onto the throttle nice and early. Maybe a fraction too early, but that was number 4, Mike Brown. And safely through on his opening lap. And this gap looks to be more than 10 seconds now. I think we're going to see that Mike Brown stretched away on the opening sector as Tom Maxwell comes through. Yeah, Mike Brown 8 seconds quicker. Maxwell through, but he's been caught on the road by Nathan Harrison, who goes ahead of him on corrected time. So in the early stages of this opening lap of Newcomers A, it's Mike Brown leads Nathan Harrison by 4 seconds at Glen Helen on the first lap. Next man in, off the throttle, knee out. Keeps it nice loose and steady, and then drives it up towards Sarah's Cottage. That's Steve Haddow, number 19. Steve Haddow safely through on his opening lap. Next man will be 14, and that's James Field, and not as quick as Haddow, drops to 5th place, James Field, so no change there from the start line. Next man into view, down that box one, tips it into the left-hander, and then gets the power on. That's John Pilu, safely through here for his first lap. 12 through now, Arnie Shelton, and Shelton goes fractionally quicker than Pilu. So Arnie Shelton with an early move. He is 3 seconds clear of John Pilu, so he's claimed a place in the opening sector, but it's still Mike Brown at the top of the leaderboard. That's Lloyd Collins through here. Lloyd Collins holding station. Number 2, Lloyd Collins, 8th off the line, and 8th place he holds now, but it looks like he's being caught. Indeed he is. Hervé Somson through now, and he goes 2 seconds clear of Collins, so early place for Somson with a 2-second gain on the opening sector. Next bike in now. Quick line change on the way in, but gets through the corner, gets the drive on. That's Alan Johnson. 2 together now, so somebody's lost a little bit of time. 7 and 17, Ben Shuttlewood and Grant Gaskell. So Grant Gaskell with a big move off the line, and he drops into 8th place. So Grant Gaskell gets away pretty sharpish, and he is catching Lloyd Collins on, Ben Shuttlewood on the road. He'll get a look at him down Cronkovody as they run down towards the 11th milestone. It will be a bit blustery up there. We're seeing a lot of movement in the trees around us down in the valley, which is quite unusual, so they'll have to watch out for that up top as 8 comes through. 8 and 22 just behind him, Barry Sheehan, and 8 is Andrew McAllister. And Benjamin Plant through as well. Benjamin Plant goes quicker than McAllister. 9 is through as well. That is James Reveley. And where does Reveley slot in? He's picked up a couple of places off the start line as well. James Reveley up to 11th place for number 9. First bike on we should be seeing now. Oh yes, Barry Sheehan has come through there. 22, Barry Sheehan, the first of the B class. And we should be seeing Fernandez very shortly. That's 15 there's Daniel Fernandez now. And in company with David Murphy, Mike Brown reaches Balaf Bridge. And does Fernandez take the lead there? Has he gone quicker? Let's just have a little look. We take 27 through Kishimoto. Going well. He had an off at Cruikshanks in practicing, but seems to have recovered okay from that. 28 and 31 both through there now. Samuel Grief. And let's just have a look. 28, Michael Rees through. Number 28, Michael Rees takes the lead in the B class. Mike Brown, Nathan Harrison and Tom Maxwell all both through on the lap bridge. And in the B class, it's Michael Rees leads Barry Sheehan by 6 seconds. Jack Fowler third, he's half a second back. Kishimoto fourth, no, Kishimoto displaced to 5th as 24, Paul O'Rourke comes through. Paul O'Rourke now into 4th place with Kishimoto down to 5th. James Hine comes through though on the 250 and he pushes everybody else down. James Hine moves into that 4th place, but Michael Rees still the quickest in the B class to Glen Helen. Number 28, Michael Rees leads number 22, Barry Sheehan by 6 seconds. In 3rd place, number 33 at the moment, Jack Fowler, half a second down on Sheehan. And in 4th place, number 25, James Hine, he's a second back. 32 comes through, Ray Maloney. Ray Maloney not making an impression at the top end of that leaderboard. It's Rees from Sheehan and Fowler with Hind, O'Rourke, Kishimoto, Creel, Fernandez, Maloney in that order. Daniel Kappa safely through on his opening lap. It's number 26, Daniel Kappa. And followed by the tail end of the A class there. That is Paul Fallon just through here on his opening lap as well. Next bike through. Let's have a little look. That is number 30. That's Veronica Kachova. And she doesn't make an impression on that leaderboard either. Your Class B leaderboard, Michael Rees leads Barry Sheehan by 6 seconds. Jack Fowler third. He's half a second further back on Sheehan. back to you at the grandstand.
We thought he was in trouble looking at the Sulby speed trap times. I can tell you number 4, the leader Mike Brown, has retired. He was only 127.3 through the speed trap compared to 165. But let's, well, the leader is out. Mike Brown retired at Sulby Bridge. So Nathan Harrison should be your leader now when we come to Ramsey Hairpin. But number 4, Mike Brown, is a retirement. I can tell you that Barry Sheehan has made it to Ballaugh Bridge, and Michael Rees still to come, though. He was leading at Glen Helen in the Newcomers B. But Nathan Harrison, Thomas Maxwell and Stephen Haddow look to be your top 3 as we head to Ramsey Hairpin with that dramatic news that the leader is out.
Yes, Mike Brown out then as we come to Ramsey Hairpin. So Nathan Harrison should be leading in Newcomers A on the track. He was 5 seconds down from Mike Brown at Ballaugh Bridge. But now we wait to see who will be first through here at one of the most iconic milestones on the famous mountain course. Nathan Harrison, a local lad, and it just goes to show that practice means nothing when it gets to race day. Who is first through here? 2 bikes in quick succession. We do have number 5. It is Nathan Harrison, followed by number 1, Thomas Maxwell. There's little to choose between them as they head off in the direction of the mountain. But what a race we have now, because the favourite, many people's favourite before the start of this race, has retired. Nathan Harrison is leading ahead of Thomas Maxwell. The gap is 10.5 seconds. So Maxwell 10.5 seconds down on Nathan Harrison. And the local lad, well, Glenn Harrison, his brother, 120 miles per hour last year. Nathan Harrison hoping to follow in his footsteps. Next bike through is the green machine of number 19, Stephen Haddow. He's 12.8 seconds down on the man in second place, Thomas Maxwell, out there in Newcomers A. So we've had 3 through. Nathan Harrison currently leads ahead of Thomas Maxwell, and Stephen Haddow is in third place. James Field should be the next one into view. He's currently on the approach here to the Ramsey Hairpin, and indeed he comes in, taking the line wide, finding the apex, and then on his way towards the mountain. Number 14, that was James Field. So Field, I think he will be further down on Arnie Shelton, number 12, but number 16 is the next bike into view, and that's John Pilou from Switzerland. John Pilou in 6th place. So 1, 2, 3 once again, Harrison, Maxwell, Haddow. Next bike through is 12, Arnie Shelton. He's moved himself up into 4th place. And he is 15.15 seconds down on 3rd place, Stephen Haddow. So 1, 2, 3, once again, Harrison, Maxwell and Haddow. Roy Moore, the favourite, has retired.
Yeah, disappointment for him, going back to Ballaugh Bridge in the Class B. It's number 28, Michael Rees, who leads. Number 28, he has an advantage over James Hind in second place. Number 25 of only 2 seconds, so that's one to look out for as they approach us here at Ramsey. We might not get them through. Third place through Ballaugh Bridge was Barry Sheehan, number 22, 5 seconds down. And then in 4th place, Jack Fowler. 5th, Paul O'Rourke. And in 6th place, Samuel Grief. And then the Japanese rider, Kishimoto, he was in 7th place as they went through Ballaugh Bridge. And certainly Daniel Fernandez 8th and Ray Maloney 9th.
And a whole scutch of bikes just coming through. Among them, Grant Gaskell, Lloyd Collins, Ev Sonson, Alan Johnston and Ben Shuttlewood. They're the latest riders through here safely at Ramsey Hairpin. Then we have number 7 through now. That is Ben Shuttlewood. And Shuttlewood is in 11th place as it stands in the Newcomers A race, but leading is Nathan Harrison. And we talk about family ties with motor racing. It's usually in your blood. It's passed down through the genes, and Nathan Harrison will be doing his family proud at the moment, leading out there on the track ahead of Thomas Maxwell. He's 10.5 seconds ahead of Thomas Maxwell at the Ramsey Hairpin. And there through is number 8, that's Andrew McAllister. He's in 14th place. 2 through here, number 9 and number 3. That's James Reveley and Benjamin Plant. And once again, they go in the direction of the mountain. But an intriguing contest we have on our hands now, because Mike Brown, as we say, he was the favourite heading into this, going on his qualifying times. But he has retired. He was very slow, or much slower than the others out there going through the Sulby speed trap. Number 22 there, that's Barry Sheehan, the first of Newcomers B that we've seen come through Ramsey Hairpin, currently leading. in the newcomers B. So Barry Sheehan staying true to form there. And we've seen that, the favourite is not going to win newcomers A. And practice is practice. It's different when it comes down to racing. Are we going to have a maverick in the pack who will steal the show? But at the moment, it's Nathan Harrison who leads. Next through here, we've got number 15, David Murphy, and number 21, that's Daniel Fernandez, the second of the newcomers being there in delightfully coloured leathers.
28 leads Class B through Ramsey Hairpin. He's ahead of Samuel Grief, who's in second place, but the difference is 21 seconds. In third through Ramsey, number 22, Barry Sheenan. He's 7 seconds down on Grief. That's all changed again, though, because in third place is still Samuel Grief, but up to fourth, relegated, because up to third goes number 33, Jack Fowler, as the screen just goes berserk with all these coming through. It's Michael Rees who leads from James Hind, and then Paul O'Rourke in third, in fourth place, and certainly that is the way it goes. Just to get some information on that, it's a little bit confusing. We have through the Lathbreen Bridge, though, that will be the confirmed time. Michael Rees led through Belaf by 2.4 seconds. In third place was 22 Barry Sheen, 5 seconds down on Hind. Fourth, Jack Fowler. Fifth, Paul O'Rourke. Fifth, sixth, Samuel Grief. Kashimoto was seventh. Daniel Fernandez was eighth. Ray Maloney was ninth. The lady rider, Hankakova, was 10th. Daniel Kappa, 11 and 12. James Smith through Belaf. Back to the grandstand.
Well, Michael Rees is under big pressure at Ramsey Hairpin in that newcomers B, because James Hind, number 25, is just 0.377 of a second behind. The gap was nearly 2.5 seconds between them at the lap bridge. So James Hind on a bit of a charge in the newcomers B, and Jack Fowler in the B was quickest at Sulby at 145.6. Barry Sheehan 142, and we've got 2 lights on at Cronknamona in the A race. Number 5 Nathan Harrison, the race leader, and also number 1 Thomas Maxwell at the bungalow. The gap between Harrison and Maxwell was 11 seconds, and then a further 17.5 seconds back was number 19 Stephen Haddo in third. But he is, 19.8, 20 odd seconds ahead of fourth place Arnie Shelton at the bungalow. But it looks as if Nathan Harrison has got ahead of Thomas Maxwell on the road as well, and they should be coming into our sight here at the grandstand very shortly at the end of this opening lap of the Manx Grand Prix Newcomers A race. 2 machines together across the line. And let's go to the times. 115.70 it is for Nathan Harrison, and 114.70 for Thomas Maxwell. So both going extremely well. And the gap between them, well, it's on the road, isn't it? It's 10.2 with their starting positions. So it is the fact that Harrison has got ahead. He just needs to stay there, and he knows then that he is 10 seconds or so in front of his adversary, if you call it that, Thomas Maxwell. Across the line there is Stephen Haddo, and he is in third place, and Haddo at 112.55. So let's just get the leaderboard in position. So he is 22.684 seconds down on number 1, Thomas Maxwell, who's in second place, and he in turn is 10.2 down on number 5, Nathan Harrison, who is the Newcomers A race leader. And across the line there was number 14, James Field. And he is currently showing in fourth position, but we've got Arnie Shelton to factor in there. 110.326 it was there for Field. That was John Pilu. He's through, and Arnie Shelton is through now, and he does indeed go into fourth place by one of the narrowest margins you could possibly see, 0.099. Up at the bungalow, I can tell you that James Hind has now got in the lead ahead of Michael Rees. So we were saying he was on a bit of a charge between Balaf Bridge and Ramsey Hairpin, and he has now taken the lead at the bungalow in the newcomers B race. John Pilo at 109.798 miles per hour, currently showing in 6th place with a bike with the number 16 red plate on it. But it's Harrison who is leading. There's number 2, Lloyd Collins, currently in 7th here at the grandstand, 7th of the 7 bikes through at 107.596. That compared to the leader at 115.702 miles per hour. 2 bikes come across the line almost together, and that's Herb Somson at 106.77, but going better is number 17, Grant Gaskell, who's made up the difference on the road, 109.4. And that moves Grant Gaskell up into 7th position and relegates Lloyd Collins to 8th position and Herb Thompson to 9th. Alan Johnson just across the line there. He is in 10th. He's in 11th position, because just across the line was Ben Shuttlewood on the Triumph. Light on for 22, Barry Sheehan at Cronknamona. Ben Shuttlewood on the Triumph that we've just heard blasting past us here on Glen Crutchley Road makes it into the top 10 and relegates Alan Johnston into 11th position. So Nathan Harrison 10.2 seconds ahead of number 1 Thomas Maxwell. There's Andrew McAllister across the line, and he is in 12th position in the newcomers A. Yes, James Hind in the B race at the bungalow was 3.5 seconds ahead of Michael Rees. So 25 leads 28, and 33 Jack Fowler is in 3rd at the bungalow at 15.899 down on Rees as Benjamin Plant crosses the line. Benjamin Plant in the newcomers race in 13th position, and also James Reveley across the line, and he's 14th in the A race. But we turn our attention to the B race, and at Cronknamona I can tell you that James Hind 3.6 ahead. And there is our first bike through, and that is Barry Sheehan. Barry Sheehan, though, at Cronknamona is down in 5th position. But at Cronknamona, James Hind is 3.6 ahead of Michael Rees in the newcomers B. Let's go to Glen Helen and Dave Christian.
Yes, thanks, Tim. There's engine noise fast approaching. Spectators get themselves ready. The cameras are up. And the machine flashes out of Glen Helen 2. Flick to the right, down the box, into the left-hander. Is number 5, Nathan Harrison, and just starting to build a little gap over Thomas Maxwell on the road, and they were pretty tight together at the grandstand. Well, Nathan Harrison's just inching away from him, and the gap on corrected time now is up to 13 seconds. It was 10 at the grandstand, 13 at Glen Helen on lap 2. So Nathan Harrison just inching away from Tom Maxwell to make it very, very difficult for him to come back from. But, of course, we've got pit lane, we've got new riders to this, and we've got the dreaded speed and penalties potentially at the end of the lap, so everyone needs to be very, very careful coming up to this pit stop at the end of this lap. Next machine interview gets that knee out very wide on the approach. Perfect apex, gets the drive on nice and early. That's a lovely line from Stephen Haddow, number 19. He's safely through here on his second lap as well. But the gap between him and second place, Thomas Maxwell, it was 23 seconds at the grandstands, 24 now. So Thomas Maxwell just pulled out another second on him on that run down from Douglas through Crosby and Ballacrane. And with that, we'll just pop back to the grandstand for the leaderboard in the B class.
Yeah, and the lead's just come down a tad. It's 25 James Hind, who is 2.339 seconds ahead of number 28 Michael Rees. In 3rd is number 33 Jack Fowler. He's 19 seconds down on Rees. 4th is number 24 Paul O'Rourke. 5th is number 31 Samuel Grief. 6th is number 22 Barry Sheehan. It's Kishimoto in 7th place, number 27. 8th is 21 Daniel Fernandez, and 9th is number 32 Ray Maloney. Back to Glen Helen and Dave.
Yes, thanks, Tim. Arnie Shelton, James Field and John Pilu all through here now on their second laps as well. Nobody's threatening that top end of the leaderboard, where it's Harrison from Maxwell and Haddo. Arnie Shelton, number 12, in third place, 31 seconds. That gap was 24 at the grandstand, so the guys at the front three, are just starting to pull away a little bit from the rest of the field. James Field, the gap between him and Arnie Shelton on corrected time, it was a hundredth of a second at the grandstand. Well, it's half a second here, so there's absolutely nothing in that. And John Pilou's gap to James Field, that's come down. It was 6 seconds at the grandstand. It's 5 here. So John Pilou just starting to claw back in there a little way. But your leader is Nathan Harrison. He has a 13-second advantage over number 1, Thomas Maxwell. Next man fires into the left-hander. That's the number 2 machine of Lloyd Collins. And Lloyd Collins not making an impression either. Number 17 through now, Grant Gaskell. Gaskell is up to 7th place, and 11 through now. Very quick approach from Hervé Somson, but again, he doesn't push himself up into that top 5 either. Outside the top 5, James Field in 5th. In 6th place, number 16, John Pilou, who's 5 seconds down on Field. In 7th place, number 17, Grant Gaskell, he's 7 seconds down on Pilou. In 8th, number 2, Lloyd Collins, he's 32 seconds down on Gaskell. 7 and 6 together on the road. Ben Shuttlewood on 7, Alan Johnson on 6, but Shuttlewood ahead on the road and ahead on corrected time as well. 11 seconds the gap between them. Ben Shuttlewood in 10th, Alan Johnson in 11th, and that's exactly the same positions they were in at the grandstand. So very few changes in the pecking order, but a couple of close battles developing on corrected time. 8 comes through now, Andrew McAllister. McAllister just split Shuttlewood and Johnson apart and moves into 11th place. At the grandstand, James Hind was leading, number 25. He was leading the B class with Michael Rees just 2 seconds back on him. And third was Jack Fowler. He's 19 seconds back on the lead in 2. So James Hind and Michael Rees look like they're having a tight little battle there at the top of the Class B leaderboard. We see how it looks when they get here. 2 machines do now come into view, 3 and 9. 3 is Benjamin Plant, 9 is James Reveley. They don't make an impression on the top end of the leaderboard here, and it will be the number 21 machine, I think Daniel Hernandez, maybe the first man on the road in the B class. And also we're looking for potentially number 22, Barry Sheehan. Here is a number 22, Barry Sheehan, funnily enough. So Sheehan safely through here on his second lap, but it is the slightly higher starting numbers that we're going to be looking for to determine who is got the best advantage in this race. James Hind, where did he start? He started 24th, so he won't be too far away now. But in the A class, it's Nathan Harrison leads Thomas Maxwell by 13 seconds, with Stephen Haddo third, 24 seconds back. 2 machines come in. We'll just take these through. 19 and 28. 15 David Murphy, and 28 Michael Rees. So Michael Rees through, but we do need Hind before we can confirm the B class leaderboard. But now we have to hand back to the grandstand.
Well, there could be more drama in the newcomers A race because Nathan Harrison hasn't made it the race leader to Balaf Bridge. Thomas Maxwell is showing at the transponder point there as the race leader, number 1. Thomas Maxwell, 22.6 seconds ahead of number 19, Stephen Haddo. In third, then, is number 14, James Field. He's 40.5 seconds down on Haddo. Fourth, and just, tight it is, 2.5 seconds. That's all that separates fourth place number 12 Arnie Shelton from third place number 14 James Field, and in fifth is number 16 John Pilou, who's 1 second down on Shelton. And Matthew Rees is back in the lead at Glen Helen in the newcomers B race by 1.7 of a second ahead of James Hind. A terrific dice going on in that B race between Rees and Hind, but Nathan Harrison not showing on the leaderboard at Balaf Bridge. Have we lost another race leader in the newcomers A race? Well, we'll wait and see. Let's look at the Silby Speed Trap times. Nathan Harrison has retired at Cronk early, so he is out. Nathan Harrison is out of the race, so Mike Brown led this race. He retired at Solby Bridge, and now our race leader, second race leader, Nathan Harrison, is a retirement as well. So Thomas Maxwell inherits the lead at Ballaugh Bridge ahead of Haddo, Field, Shelton, Pilo, Gaskell, Collins and Somson. And in the B race, it is Michael Rees who's back in the lead by 1.7 of a second ahead of James Hind, and a further 22.7 seconds down in third is Jack Fowler. Let's go to Ramsey Hairpin. Dramatic stuff. Roy Moore, Chris Cade.
Well, heartbreak for Mike Brown, heartbreak for Nathan Harrison, but it all means delight for Thomas Maxwell. Thomas Maxwell, number one, is first through here at Ramsey Hairpin, and he's looking good. And at Ballaugh Bridge, he was 22 seconds ahead of Stephen Haddo. So is that an unassailable lead? It all comes down to how Stephen Haddo and James Field and Arnie Shelton, the ones who are chasing Thomas Maxwell, respond. 22 seconds down is second place Stephen Haddo. He's not yet made it here to Ramsey Hairpin. But Thomas Maxwell is safe through. He's leading out there on the track, and he's looking good. And if he can hold on and keep going, looking good in this race, he will be the winner of Newcomers A race. The lead has changed hands numerous times. Mike Brown held it first, then it was Nathan Harrison, the local lad, but Thomas Maxwell is now in the lead as Stephen Haddo goes through, number 19, and listen to that bike as it hares into the distance. He's cut the lead of Thomas Maxwell, so maybe we do have a race on our hands. Thomas Maxwell leads ahead of Stephen Haddo. James Field was in third place through Ballaugh Bridge, and we're just waiting to see who the next bike interview will be. Thomas Maxwell, he was in third place early on in this race. Mike Brown retiring at Solby. We've just heard the news that Nathan Harrison has retired early as well, meaning he is now in the box seat. We can hear the bikes in the distance. Who will be the next to approach Ramsey Hairpin? And I'm sure they'll all be giving their all. This is what they've been dreaming of. They're following in the footsteps of their heroes. We heard Harrison before saying he didn't watch Peppa Pig when he was younger. He watched Joey Dunlop. He'll be frustrated he hadn't been able to finish this race. Next here is number 14. It is James Field, 47 seconds down on second place Stephen Haddo. But Jean Pilou should be the next one into sight. Jean Pilou of Switzerland, number 16. And here he is, with the red and white leathers and the pristine machine there going into the distance. Pilou is 6 seconds down on James Field, so he'll be aiming for a top 3 finish as it stands. Arnie Shelton only 4 seconds down on Pilou himself as he goes through safely here at Ramsey Hairpin. But the story of the Newcomers A race so far is that the lead has changed numerous times. It was firstly held by Mike Brown. Then Nathan Harrison thought he would be on course to victory, but he has since retired, and it's Thomas Maxwell who leads the way. He's 20 seconds ahead of Stephen Haddo. They're both through here at Ramsey Hairpin, as are James Field, John Pilou and Arnie Shelton. They're the only bikes to have come through safely here at Ramsey Hairpin so far on this second lap. But what a race it's been, Roy Moore. I think that the story, the main contest really, is in the B race.
Yeah, the B race through Ballaugh Bridge has James Hind, the advantage there over in second place Michael Rees, number 28. Michael Rees, 7 seconds is the gap there according to our timing. Within third place number 33 Jack Fowler, 27 seconds down on Rees. In fourth place Barry Sheehan, he's 7 seconds down. In fifth Samuel Grief, sixth Paul O'Rourke. O'Rourke is a familiar name to the TT Mountain course as well. But we go back to the leaderboard here at Ramsey for the others, because we might just about get Class B through. But what disappointment for Nathan Harrison. The apprehension in this commentary box went sky high, but a retirement due to mechanical problems for Nathan. What a total disappointment to all those down there. You only get one chance to be a newcomer. You only get one chance to win a Newcomers Manx Grand Prix, and it's been taken away from both Brown and Harrison in the first and second laps. Back to you, Chris.
Some very positive signs for both of those riders, though. Grant Gaskell, Irv Thompson and Lloyd Collins are all through. I think the latest one that's just going through there is Alan Johnston. So let's just run through the order. Maxwell ahead of Haddo, 20 seconds up on Stephen Haddo. James Field making up the top 3 as it stands, but there was only 6 seconds between Field and John Pilu as the next rider goes through there. I think that is Andrew McAllister. Where have we got to? John Pilu then, yes, in 4th place. Arnie Shelton further 4 seconds down on Pilu. And we've had Gaskell, Thompson, Reveley, McAllister, Collins and Johnston all through here safely at the Ramsey hairpin. But yeah, it's looking like a very healthy lead and a comfortable one for Thomas Maxwell as it stands as bike number 9 goes through here. That is James Reveley. He's in 8th place, 3.7 seconds down on Irv Thompson. And we have number 3 through here. And it goes on to that darker part of the Ramsey hairpin, which indicates it is still a bit damp, still suffering the impacts of the conditions that we've had during this Festival of Motorcycling fortnight. So it does look a bit damp. Will that play a part in how these riders go about chasing down the leader out there on the track, Thomas Maxwell? And here is the first newcomers B into sight. That's Barry Sheehan. So he's first through here at Ramsey hairpin, but the lead in the B race has changed quite a few times already, as has the newcomers A race, but it looks a lot tighter in the B class. Barry Sheehan, first one through here at Ramsey hairpin. He is safe through number 22 as we await the next newcomer B through here. So leaders at the moment, Michael Rees, I'm told, is still leading, and here he comes. Michael Rees, number 28. And the lead has been chopping and changing in newcomers B, but he's in pole position as it stands, ahead of Barry Sheehan. Next one through is number 50, newcomers A, David Murphy. Here's a nice line from him there as he goes on towards the mountain section of the course. So leaders out there on the track, and we have a new race leader here in the B class. Once again, it is James Hine, number 25. He's coming through. And the roar of his bike tells you to sit up and take notice, because he wants the B-class trophy. Next one through is number 21, Daniel Fernandez, the Colombian rider, in 6th place in the B-class. Let's just run through the runners and riders. James Hine is leading ahead of Michael Rees by 5 seconds. Jack Fowler's currently in 3rd. Barry Sheehan, Samuel Grief and Daniel Fernandez make up the top 6. Back to you at the grandstand.
And Cronknamona, the leader, the light on for number 1. But up at the bungalow, Stephen Haddo has really taken a large chunk of that lead of Maxwell's away, because it was 20 seconds at Ramsey hairpin. It's down to 12.3 at the bungalow, and it's down to 9.9 at Cronknamona. Haddo is closing in on Maxwell, and of course they've got to come into the pits at the end of this lap for the pit stop retirement. Number 29, James Smith, very disappointingly retired in the pits, his head shaking, not happy as he wouldn't be. And number 7, that is Shuttlewood, is retired at Kurt Michael. But we should have Thomas Maxwell putting the anchors on as he approaches coming into Gasoline Alley. A vital pit stop as the lead in this race just gets tighter and tighter. And, well, he's going very slowly indeed on the approach. Is he all? Well, he's just freewheeling now. It was maybe a fueling issue there, Chris.
Don't know really, Tim. We'll have to find that out. He's really slow in there. 9.9 as he came through Cronknamona, as you quite rightly said, between Maxwell and Haddo. And as you again quite rightly said too, it dropped down a little bit from 12, so 3 seconds. So here's the next man, Tim, and we're going to get the second man across the line in a moment, Stevie Haddo, and you'll get the official split before I do. The pits are quite thin. That's a faster approach, Tim. I reckon it's come down even more, Tim.
6.3 is the margin now. 6.3. Let's get these pit stops described, Kinners.
Yeah, Thomas Maxwell, 112.996 his lap, 20 minutes 02.064 for him, and he in lead at the moment, as you said, 6.335, and well, Haddo on that lap, 114.554, and there we go. Oh, a little bit more time lost there for number 1. And instead, I was going to say, Haddo's first lap was 112.54, so he's knocked about 21 seconds from his first lap to his second lap. So, and this, of course, will include the pit stop. And number 1 is away. Thomas Maxwell throws a Yamaha down towards the top of Bray Hill. Stand by St Ninians. There you go. Across the top he goes there now, past the fuel station and down the hill. So only 2 riders here at the moment as we go back to Cronknamona. James Field, Arnie Shelton and John Pilloud are all there. So number 19, hopefully he's been told that information. We'll get the split of Tim O'Hanlon in a minute, and another rider coming in for the pit stop. Be right alongside me here now. So we get the first three away. Back to Cronknamona, James Field, 55 seconds back off Stephen Haddow. So third place, number 14, James Field, is here
Chris,
now.
I've got to tell you, Stephen Haddow's got a 30-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. 63.026 kilometres an hour. 30-second penalty for Haddow.
Well, that will actually keep him, Tim, still in third place, won't it? Because it's 55 seconds back to James Field, so it will only extend him back. Yeah, so Maxwell will lead from Haddow, so 30 seconds, 21 seconds will be the lead if you equate the pit stop, so we'll get that sorted out in a minute or two with Tim O'Hanlon. John Pillode is here on his GSXR 600. Another one goes here, the klaxon in the background, and then past the old stop box. Number 12, that's Arnie Shelton. We spoke to him before the race, so we've got 14, 16 and 12 all in at the moment. So here's 14. Watch that limiter, guys. Remember your briefings. You were told stay in the middle of the road. There he goes. Blimey, Tim. Have a little look. I hope there's nothing there for that man there, because I can't really see the screen, but it looked pretty quick to me. So we got two riders in. So let's have a little check back then to grandstand as they came in. Maxwell led by 6.3. Haddow, though, has got that penalty. And then James Field in third, 56.9 back. John Pillode in fourth place, 14.4 back. And Arnie Shelton, 1.1 back in that fifth position. We'll also keep an eye on the B class. It won't be too far away. The klaxon goes once more. And I just love that we're going to get the old stop box. I wish to bring that back. I did enjoy that stop box. Who've we got coming in next? We've got number 17 in for his pit stop. And they all seem to be up the top as well. Tim O'Hanlon's going to work on the figures. We'll keep an eye on B as number 12, Shelton, leaves. Let's get the details. Tim O'Hanlon.
Well, apart from Haddow having a 30-second penalty, he was 3 seconds slower in the pits than Maxwell. But Fields was 5 seconds quicker than Maxwell. That'll still put him about 50 seconds behind Maxwell.
All right, thanks for that. Grant Gaskell in the pits, and number 16 leaves us now. Pillode. We're waiting for Class B. Tim.
Yeah, Class B, I can tell you, at the bungalow, James Hind, 4 seconds. That's all ahead. Number 25 of 28, Michael Rees. Third is Jack Fowler, but he's 36.5 seconds down on Rees. And then he is 6.6 seconds ahead of fourth place, number 22, Barry Sheehan. But what drama we've had in this newcomers A race. Mike Brown was leading and he retired. Then we had another leader in Nathan Harrison. And now we've got a 30-second penalty for the man who was looking to get into the lead, was making a charge, Stephen Haddow, that's put him back again, and a further penalty for number 17, Grant Gaskell. He was 61.520 kilometres an hour, so another 30-second penalty is administered by the school speed master in pit lane. They've all been briefed, so it's putting it into practice. The light on for 22, Barry Sheehan at Cronknamona in the newcomers B race. Dear, oh dear, it's almost like if you're getting into contention in this race, you're cursed, and something will go awry. But Thomas Maxwell will be enjoying a fairly comfortable lead. Can he now nurse his way round on that Yamaha for the remaining 2 laps and take a newcomer's win? But Stephen Haddow, he was significantly quicker on that last lap at 114.554 miles per hour compared to Maxwell at 112.996 miles per hour. Light is on for Michael Rees at Cronknamona, and it's also on for number 25, James Hind. He still leads, but the lead has been reduced to just shy of 2 seconds. Hind leads Rees by 1.987 seconds. There is a real scrap on for that newcomers B race, and they'll be coming into the pits very shortly, but we'll just get the leaders out at Glen Helen with Dave Christian.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. We're awaiting the arrival of the first man on the road, and should be Thomas Maxwell very shortly. There's engine noise coming up the valley. Flash of colour that comes from out among the trees. The bike into view. Flick to the right. Down a gear. Get it hauled over into the corner. Get that drive on up towards Sarah's, and Thomas Maxwell safely through here on his third lap. And now we're into the stopwatch mode to see what the difference was after those pit stops and that speeding penalty. and it really is heartbreaking for Stephen Haddo to have gotten within so close on the entry into pit lane, only 6 seconds back. We'll go to Chris at pit lane.
Yeah, Barry Sheehan, 22 for the pit stop, Dave, and also number 28 is here, Michael Rees. The gap at Cronkton, as you said, was 1.98. We'll wait for more rides to come in from the newcomers B. Number 3 goes in the A class, and he is away. We've got number 18 also in there, and here he is. He's our man we're waiting for. He's a little bit further down, and his team are telling him, keep the speed down. You do not want to throw this away. Tim, what was the gap across the line in newcomers B?
I can tell you there's a new leader. Michael Rees was 3.489 seconds ahead of James Hines. So 28 leads 25. Change of lead.
Changing all the time, this class is. There's more from newcomers B coming. So here's the pit stop then. We got Michael Reason, we got James Hinden. Barry Sheehan has already left us. We got 21, we got 31, we've also got 33, and then here goes young Master Rees, the Welshman. He's away, takes it nice and steady out, don't lose it. That's very good. Looked about 54ish, that to me. He's not got a lot longer run to go. So the ER6 is away and already at the top of Bray Hill onto St Ninian. So he is away and out. The lap for Rees was 107.062, and the lap behind 106.572, and Jack Fowler there in third place, number 33, beg your pardon, 104.99. You hear the Yamaha get away, lovely sounding TZ away. 15 goes from newcomers A, but we're just waiting for 33. Fowler racing, Jack Fowler third at the moment, Barry Sheehan fourth, Samuel Greeth fifth, Daniel Hernandez, the Columbia rider, sixth, and Yoshishiro Kishimoto. And there goes Fernandez, the Columbia rider, and he's got a rider. Oh, he's got him. Yeah, ooh, now they've gone out together there now. So that's going to be interesting to see. Could they hold each other up on the road? And they're going to probably catch up some of the slower riders. And newcomers A will get up to Tim O'Hanlon, who's going to be working hard on these times because they're kind of all over the place on the little computer tablet that we have. He has to move around just a little bit, but I'm sure Tim has got it all worked out after the pit stops. Newcomers B, Tim.
Well, I would think after the pit stops in Class B, number 25 Hines has got a 7-second lead over Rees now, because Rees took 1 minute and 10 seconds in the pits, whereas Hines only took 59.6.
Good stuff, Tim O'Hanlon. Back to Dave Christian, Glen Helen.
Yes, thanks, Chris. Thomas Maxwell's lead over Stephen Haddo is now confirmed at 38 seconds. So number 19, Stephen Haddo, after picking up that 30-second pit lane penalty, he is 38 seconds behind race leader Thomas Maxwell. Third place, number 14, James Field. He is 23 seconds down on Haddo. That's number 14, James Field in third place, 23 seconds down on second place Haddo. In fourth place, number 12 at the moment, Arnie Shelton, 34 seconds down on Field. And we'll take the next man through, and that is Grant Gaskell. A pit lane penalty for him, but I don't think it's going to affect his race position too far. In fourth place, then we had number 12, Arnie Shelton, 34 seconds down on Field. In fifth place, number 16, John Pilu. He is 19 seconds back on Shelton. And sixth at the moment, Grant Gaskell, who is just 4 seconds down on Pilu. And I think we might just see, if that penalty comes in, we might just see James Reveley make an impression into the top 6. He was 7th place on entry into the pits, and just depending on how his pit stop went, he might just sneak a little bit closer, at least to Grant Gaskell, who picked up a penalty in there. We've been looking at some of the times on the Solvay Speed Trap, and fastest man of the day so far was actually Arnie Shelton on the first lap, 165.3 for him. But since then, the times speeds have dropped a little bit. Shelton's next best time on the second lap, best speed, 162.1. Next man into view, though, down the box, that's number 2, Lloyd Collins. And he is 7th place at the moment, but he was down in 11th on entry into pit lane. So I think Andrew McAllister, Alan Johnson, all likely to slot in front of him, and Herv Thompson and James Reveley as well. 2 men, 3 men now appear, 6, 8, 11 together on the road. That's Andrew McAllister, Alan Johnson and Herb Thompson, closely followed by 9, James Reveley. James Reveley has indeed closed in on Grant Gaskell, but not as much as he might have wanted. 58 seconds was a gap between 6th place Gaskell at the grandstand and 7th place Reveley. That gap is now down to 28 seconds with the pit lane penalty for Gaskell. McAllister lies in 8th. That's number 8, Andrew McAllister. He is 24 seconds down on 7th place, Reveille. In 9th place, number 2, Lloyd Collins. He's 28 seconds down on Andrew McAllister. In 10th place, at the moment, number 6, Alan Johnson. He's just 1 second down on Lloyd Collins. And in 11th place, number 11, Herb Thompson. He is 11 seconds back on 10th place, Alan Johnson. Elsewhere in the quick times on the Sulby, or the quick speeds on the Sulby Speed Trap, was Michael Rees, the quickest man in Class B, 147.5 on his second lap. And he's about 3 miles an hour quicker than the next best, which was Jack Fowler at 144.9. 22 now comes through. And that is Barry Sheehan, the first of the B-class bikes. But Barry Sheehan, where was he at the grandstand? 4th place before they went into the pits. And we'll wait and see if he's managed to sneak up a little bit with the old pit lane times for everybody else as Benjamin Plant comes through, number 3. He's safely through on his third lap, 26 seconds adrift. He is of 11th place, Herb Thompson. That's Benjamin Plant, number 3, holding 12th place in Class A, 26 seconds back on 11th place, Herb Thompson. At the head of the race, though, Thomas Maxwell looks comfortable, a 38-second advantage. As 28 comes through, that is the Michael Rees in the B class, number 28, Michael Rees. He's the quickest B class 2 Glen Helen on lap 3. Number 28, Michael Rees, but we need the arrival, I think, of number 25, James Hind, and we're not going to have any time for that. We're going to hand over to Chris Cave at Ramsey Hairpin.
Well, Thomas Maxwell leading, but that doesn't tell the official story of this race, because Stephen Haddo was catching him, and he'll be absolutely kicking himself that he got a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So Maxwell, he was having his lead eaten away by Stephen Haddo, and he was just gaining on him, gaining ground, looking good. There's life in this race yet, but a 30-second penalty for Stephen Haddo means it's handed, well, the fate of this race back into the hands of Thomas Maxwell, who leads by 38.2 seconds, and he's just due in here, the first bike into sight at Ramsey Hairpin on lap 3. Thomas Maxwell, here he comes, and he must know that he is the leader out there, so how will that affect his mindset, I wonder? And it's a tight line, and he's away, out of sight, into the distance. In blistering form he is, but is he having a few problems with his fueling? Roy Moore.
Yeah, it's a well-known factor when it comes race day, and especially in 2018, because they haven't had a chance to be out on the practice as the second machine comes into view. This is number 19, Stephen Haddo. It's 33 seconds, so Thomas Maxwell has lost 5 seconds on the run from the lap bridge here to Ramsey. But it's a well-known fact amongst them. It's like everything else when you're a newcomer to things, you only find out by experience. I would suggest, I don't know whether it will be right or wrong, that possibly the race leader, Thomas Maxwell, was getting the low fuel light on the run through from possibly as near as Craignabar down through to the finish. And it's got to get it out of the dip onto from Governor's Bridge onto Glencrutchy Road. And it's a well-known fact, as we mentioned, that enlarging the tank is a necessary part of preparation when getting it round. And we know that for a fact because when you think about it, the fuel is vital. If you haven't got fuel, you're not going to go anywhere. So I would suggest the light had been on and he'd that. Of course, what that brings into the equation is the fact that it has been topped up. It will have to be absolutely brimmed for him to get another 2 laps out of it. 33 seconds is the gap. I think the next rider in, Chris, is number 14, James Field.
Yes, James Field just coming into view now as he takes on Ramsey Hairpin safely through there. The cut in the lead, though, suggests that Stephen Haddo is going quicker than Thomas Maxwell, and maybe this fueling problem for Thomas Maxwell may be playing on his mind. So there's still life in this race yet, and history is filled with sports stars who have come back from the brink. Well, Stephen Haddo has a job on his hands, but what a victory it would be if he could do it. Is it beyond the realms of possibility? Is it an unassailable lead? Well, only time will tell. But Thomas Maxwell, he was the first into sight. He was first through here at Ramsey Hairpin, and he has a 34-second lead ahead of second place Stephen Haddo, although that has been cut by 5 seconds since they went through Belaf Bridge. So who knows? Stephen Haddo looks like he's quicker out there. but Thomas Maxwell has a big, comfortable lead at the moment, so it's still in his hands as to whether he will win this race. Stephen Haddo in second. James Field has just gone through. He's 32.5 seconds down on Stephen Haddo in third. And now we have, it looks like, Arnie Shelton here, number 12. And also with him, number 16, John Pilu. And there's not much to separate them on the track. They're going great guns as well. Can they force themselves into the top three? Well, that looks just a bridge too far for Arnie Shelton and John Pilu. Arnie Shelton is 45 seconds down on James Field, so he's got work to do if he's to make it into the top three positions. But we've seen in this race, nothing will surprise you, as I can just see a little animal walking across the track there as you go out of Ramsey Hairpin. It looks like a cat, so let's hope that's safely off the track so it's not a hindrance to the riders. Can't see it there as number 17 comes through, Grant Gaskell. And Grant Gaskell is away. He's 6.2 seconds down on John Pilu in 6th place. So let's go through the top 6 there. Maxwell, followed by Haddo, 33.8 seconds down is Stephen Haddo. Then James Field making up the top 3. Arnie Shelton, John Pilu and Grant Gaskell making up the top 6. They're the ones we've had through safely so far here at Ramsey Hairpin. Well, is this race getting away from Stephen Haddo, or is it just getting started, Roy Moore?
I think what will happen is, in the early part of the race, Thomas Maxwell had a real indication. He probably have seen Mike Brown stopped and certainly Nathan Harrison, and then realised he was leading. But he'll have to rely on boards now to find out what the margin is. And again, it's a part of the kind of being a newcomer. Where do you put them out? What do you put on the board? Everything like that. His pit crew will have to be organised in that. Going back to Class B, I'd have to suggest that through Belaf Bridge it was showing number 1 position for number 25 James Hind. In second place was 28 Michael Rees, 7 seconds down. In third place going through Belaf was 22 Barry Sheehan. He was 34 seconds down on the second place man. In fourth place number 33 Jack Fowler, 9 seconds down on Sheehan. And then in fifth place number 31 Samuel Grief, but he was 36 seconds down on Fowler. And then in sixth place Daniel Fernandez, and in seventh place, well, that has just changed actually, up to sixth place goes Daniel Fernandez, seventh Paul O'Rourke. Back to you, Chris.
Well, I can tell you that through the bungalow, Stephen Haddo is quicker than Thomas Maxwell. We do have a race on our hands as it stands. Maxwell cannot afford to rest on his laurels and think that this race is in the bag, because Stephen Haddo is not going to let him win it easily. There's a couple more bites coming through, number 11 and number 6. Number 11 Ev Thompson and number 6 Alan Johnston. Johnston is through at Ramsey Hairpin. Chance will be a fine thing, and there he is, goes through Alan Johnston. But Maxwell is leading, not as quick as Stephen Haddo at the bungalow, and I can tell you the gap is 26.8 seconds between Thomas Maxwell and Stephen Haddo. The race is on. Back to the grandstand.
Can tell you James Field and Arnie Shelton and John Pilu all made it up the mountain to the bungalow, and the light is on for our race leader in the Newcomers A at Cronknamona for number 1 Thomas Maxwell. But yes, that lead has tumbled again. It's down to 22.9 now at Cronknamona. And we noticed at the Solby Speed Trap that Maxwell went through on that lap at 144.3, but much quicker was Haddo at 160.2. So is there an issue with Maxwell's bike, or is it just that Haddo is on a real charge? Also making it up to the bungalow is number 17 Grant Gaskell, but 22.9 as opposed to 26.8 at the bungalow, and it was 33 point something at Ramsey Hairpin. And the lead in the B race at Ramsey Hairpin is down to 3 seconds between Hind and Rees. What a battle they've had, battle royal throughout the whole of that contest. But we're now waiting for Thomas Maxwell. Here he is. And what is the gap going to be, though, between him and Haddo? As Haddo is probably now on Glencrutchery Road. We'll see what he's made up, if anything, between Cronknamona and here. And, well, the lead has gone out, actually. It's 24 seconds. So Haddo lost about a second in the run from Cronknamona to the grandstand. So they go on to their final lap. Maxwell leads Haddo by 24 seconds. At Belaf Bridge, Hind in the Newcomers newcomers B led Reese by 7.4. Ramsey hairpin, that lead is down to 3.1. And the lead in that race between Hind and Reese has changed 7 or 8 times during the opening nearly 3 laps now. And we'll wait to see what it's going to be here at the grandstand. But certainly Reese seems to be putting another charge on. And if every time he gets his nose in front, Hind responds and puts his own charge on and gets the lead back. So a dramatic newcomers B. We may still have a dramatic newcomers A race to come. But let's just get the confirmation of what is happening further down in the newcomers B, away from the top 2, back to Roy at Ramsey.
There is only 3 seconds in this one. James Hind leads ahead of Michael Reese out there in the track. 22. Barry Sheehan is currently in 3rd place, but he's a further 41.1 seconds down on Michael Reese. So it's a straight race now between James Hind and Michael Reese, you'd imagine, to take the victory in this one. At the moment, the advantage lies with James Hind, but only by a small margin. 3.138 seconds is the gap between those two. But let's run through the order. We have James Hind followed by Michael Reese. Barry Sheehan, as I say, making up the top 3 at the moment. 12 seconds down on him is Jack Fowler, who was in the mix earlier on in this race. Samuel Grief, who had a lovely line coming through Ramsey hairpin, really impressive there. He is in 5th place on bike number 31. Then you have the Colombian Daniel Fernandez. He's 13.8 seconds down on Samuel Grief in 6th, and then Paul O'Rourke in 7th, and Yoshiro Kishimoto in 27th. I'm pleased I've finally been able to say that name. Me and Roy were talking about it before, and it's one of those difficult names you have to pronounce, but I'm glad I've got that out the way, and it's gone seamlessly. Ray Maloney in 9th place there, and the next man just through here is number 32, Ray Maloney, as I say, in 9th, but we'll head back to you at the grandstand.
Yeah, looking at the leaderboard here, James Field is through, and he's showing in 3rd. 2 together as they go under the bridge, almost touching as they went under the bridge there. And number 12, Arnie Shelton, and number 16, John Pilou from Switzerland. Very, very tight between them as they headed down towards the crest of Bray Hill. But just to confirm then, the lead here is held by number 1, Thomas Maxwell in the newcomers A, over number 19, Stephen Haddow, and it's by 24 seconds. In 3rd, number 14, James Field. He's 35.9 down on 2nd. 4th is number 12, Arnie Shelton. He's 53.4 down on 3rd. In 5th, it's number 16, John Pilou. He's 9.9 down on 4th. And in 6th position, just 0.7 seconds down, is number 17, Grant Gaskell. Of course, the times, the laps will include the pit stop, but quickest of them was Stephen Haddow at 109.006 compared to Thomas Maxwell at 107.943. And at the bungalow, it is James Hind that leads, but it's just come down by just under another second. James Hind, number 25 in the newcomers B at the bungalow, leads number 28, Michael Reese, by just 2.3 of a second. 2.3 the lead is down to now at the bungalow between Hind and Reese and the newcomers B. James Field on that last lap was quicker than the lead at 2 at 108.223. It does include the pit stop, of course, and Haddow is 109. But let's find out what the situation is. Have we got a race on our hands in newcomers A? We know we have in the B. Dave Christian, Glen Helen.
Yes, thanks, Tim. Bob on. I can just hear the engine noise now. The first machine flashes out to Glen Helen 2. Little flick to the right. Down a gear. Tips into the left-hander. Big wave from the crowd. That's number 1, Thomas Maxwell. And he's clear now. We're just waiting to see what that gap is. The next man on the road is here already. More waves from the crowd for number 19, Stephen Haddow. It's coming down again. 21 seconds the gap. With 2/3 of a lap to go, it's probably going to be a bridge too far, But those speed trap time speeds that Tim Glover referred to before, we were looking at those as well. And most of the other riders, quickest through was Andrew McAllister at 163. This is a Sulby speed trap on lap 3. James Reveley at 160, Grant Gaskell at 160, and Stephen Haddow 160, all above 160 miles an hour, but Thomas Maxwell 144.3. He was well off the pace in a straight line, so it could well be something around the top end that's causing him a problem, whether it's fueling or gearbox, but he seems to be just leaking the odd second here or there, and the gap 3 seconds in this sector now, and it was at lap 3, 38.5 was the gap, so he's taken about 18 seconds out of him in a lap, and he's probably just not going to have enough race time left unless there's another issue for Thomas Maxwell. But at the moment it's Maxwell in charge, 21 seconds the advantage he has over number 19 Stephen Haddow. They're both comfortably clear of the third place man at the grandstand, at least number 14 James Field. As the next machine does come into view, it is James Field. And he takes Glen Helen nice and neat and tidy. 42 seconds now. So it's just 7 seconds the leaders have pulled away from James Field in the run down from the grandstand here to Glen Helen. The gap now between second and third is 42 seconds. So Thomas Maxwell with the lead over Stephen Haddow, 21 seconds, but shrinking all the time. In third place, number 14, James Field, a further 42 seconds back. And that gap appears to be growing. So the other battles we need to watch out for, John Pellew in 5th, I think, and Grant Gaskell in 6th. There's less than a second split in those two. And Andrew McAllister, that's Michael Rees through the grandstand now in Class B. And the Class B at the grandstand, Michael Rees, tell a lie, let's go back. And James Hind was the one name I was looking for. James Hind not yet at the grandstand, so only 2 through at the grandstand at the end of the lap, and we'll go back to Tim for a look closer at that.
Yeah, we're waiting for James Hind, who's lost the lead at Cronknamona, to Michael Rees as he crosses the line now, and Michael Rees is the new leader here at the grandstand. Number 28 leads 25. Michael Rees ahead of James Hind by 3.235 seconds. It had come down to a lead change of Rees taking over from Hind of 1.1 second at Cronknamona. He's made it up now to 3.2. That must be the 8th or 9th change of lead in the newcomers B race. Back to you, Dave Christian at Glen Helen.
Yes, thanks. We've had now James Field, Arnie Shelton and John Pellew all through here. Grant Gaskell just goes through now safely on his last lap. The gap between Gaskell in 6th and Pellew in 5th is down to 1.3 seconds. But at the top end, it is Thomas Maxwell, number 1, the race leader, the leader on the road. He leads second place, number 19, Stephen Haddow, by 21 seconds. And it'll be interesting to see, has that fallen away any further by the time they reach Ballaugh Bridge. And in third place is number 14, James Field, 42 seconds back. In fourth, number 12, Arnie Shelton. He is 53 seconds down on Field. In fifth place, number 16, John Pellew, who is 10 seconds down on Shelton. And in sixth place, having a right old ding-dong with Pellew, number 17, Grant Gaskell, just 1.3 seconds down on Pellew. Ballaugh Bridge, the gap is closing again at Ballaugh Bridge. The first two are through Ballaugh now. Thomas Maxwell still leads, but the gap's down to 17 seconds from Stephen Haddow now. So Stephen Haddow clipping away at him all the time, but I just can't help thinking there's maybe not quite enough time left. But, of course, if Haddow hadn't have picked up that pit lane penalty for speeding at the pit stop, he would be in the lead now and would be growing his lead. But that's all in the past. They've only got the future ahead of them. And 17 seconds is the gap at Ballaugh Bridge. And it's coming down all the time. We're setting up for a right close finale for the newcomers A race. And the B race is just turning into a ding-dong between James Hind and Michael Rees, who seem to be handing the lead to each other several times a lap, it seems to be. Next man now comes into view here at Glen Helen on lap 4. That is number 9, James Reveley. James Reveley safely through here, but he holds seventh place for number 9, James Reveley, and he is 34 seconds, in fact, if we round it up, behind Grant Gaskell. That's a much slower approach from Andrew McAllister. Looks like he's got his braking point a little bit mixed up there, come in very heavy on the brakes, and just manages to get the right gear for a drive up the hill towards Sarah's. That's going to cost him, and we'll go back to the grandstand.
The champagne is being readied on the podium, but whose bottle's going to taste the sweetest? Haddo again quickest by significant margin. That's Sulby Speed Trap 160.2 again, and Maxwell 147.2. The lead at Ballaugh Bridge had come down to 17.3. Have we got a race on? We may well do. Haddo has extended his advantage over third place, number 14, James Field at Ballaugh Bridge, to 48.5 seconds. But again, that difference in speed at the Sulby Speed Trap could be telling a story in itself. But the champagne is being prepared back here at the grandstand. It's just a matter of who is going to be spraying it from the top step. Let's find out what the situation is at Ramsey Hairpin. Back to Chris and Roy.
Well, these riders have never been in this position before. They will never be in this position again. You only get one chance at this. And you mentioned the champagne being readied. Well, who for? Who's your money on? Is the luck of the Irish on the side of Thomas Maxwell? Because he is leading, but his lead is getting, well, narrower and narrower with every step of the way. Stephen Haddo has cut that gap to just 14 seconds as number 1 Maxwell is through here, followed closely by Stephen Haddo. And they're off into the distance, their bikes roaring. Who can handle the pressure the best, and how costly will that pit lane penalty prove to be for Stephen Haddo? He would be in the lead by now had he not been speeding in the pit lane. But Thomas Maxwell has a slender advantage, I say that, 14 seconds, but Stephen Haddo seems to be chipping away at that every step of the way, and it's going to be a grandstand finish, that is for sure. So at Ballaugh Bridge, Maxwell led Haddo, and he was comfortably ahead of James Field, 49 seconds ahead of James Field, and he was a further 56 seconds ahead of Arnie Shelton. So you think that the top 3 will be Maxwell, Haddo and Field, but what order will the top 2 be? Because at the moment Thomas Maxwell's lead is being cut every step of the way by Stephen Haddo on bike number 19. And as I say, he received a 30-second pit lane penalty. But let's go straight back to Dave Christian at Glen Helen.
Yes, thanks, Chris. Michael Rees, James Hind, all through here now on their final lap, and the lead stays with Michael Rees, and it's got bigger. Number 28, Michael Rees, leads the B class over number 25, James Hind, and the gap is now 12 seconds. It was 3 at the grandstand, it's 12 here at Glen Helen, so Rees is starting to pull away. Maybe he's finally cracked it. 22, Barry Sheehan holds third. In fourth place, number 33, Jack Fowler. Sheehan is 51 seconds behind Hind. Fowler is 13 seconds behind Sheehan. In fifth place, number 31, Samuel Grief. He is 43 seconds down on Jack Fowler. And in sixth place, number 21, Daniel Fernandez. He is 8 seconds down on Grief. But your leader, though, is Michael Rees. The lead is being handed over left and right and left and right. It's now back with Michael Rees, and he's pushed it up to 12 seconds on the final lap. Back to Chris at Ramsey Hairpin.
Well, if we concentrate on the newcomers A once again, well, Thomas Maxwell, as we say, he's 14 seconds ahead of Stephen Haddo. James Field a further minute behind him. But what a race it's been, because let's not forget, Mike Brown was leading, then Nathan Harrison, but now it's Thomas Maxwell in pole position. And if he can just hold his nerve, it's going to be a test of his mettle anyway, isn't it? But it's going to be a grandstand finish. Thomas Maxwell, 14 seconds ahead of Stephen Haddo. James Field has come through the Ramsey Hairpin safely on his final lap, but he's a further minute back. You don't think he will be challenging the top 2 positions, but we don't know. This race has thrown up quite a few surprises so far. It looked going great guns for Mike Brown and also for Nathan Harrison. The lead chopped and changed, but at the moment it's Thomas Maxwell in the box seat. As John Pilu goes through there, number 16, number 12, Arnie Shelton, the next man through. Arnie Shelton is in 4th place. Pilu is in 5th. A bit of a battle on there because there's only 1.65 seconds between Shelton and Pilu. The next one we should be seeing is the number 17 machine, that of Grant Gaskell, who also received a pit lane penalty, and he'll be kicking himself because of that, because he would be in a much greater position, closer to 4th place Arnie Shelton than to Pilu, be miles ahead of him by a good 30 seconds. Thomas Maxwell, though, leads 14 seconds ahead of Stephen Haddo, and is coming towards the closing stages of this race, and we wait to see if Haddo can cut that lead even more. Thomas Maxwell holds a lead of just over 10 seconds now, so Stephen Haddo is hunting him down. He's in hot pursuit. Can Stephen Haddo put his name on the Newcomers A trophy in its 40th year? Can he add to the history? It's been a fantastic race, whichever way it goes. Thomas Maxwell, though, still holding the lead on this final lap, 10.175 seconds ahead of Stephen Haddo at the bungalow, but this lead is being chipped away at every turn, every possible opportunity, and Stephen Haddo, what a victory it would be for him. Thomas Maxwell's had problems, we think, with his fueling. We heard Roy Moore talking about that before. Is that going to play a bit of a part on his mindset in the closing stages of this race? As we say, you only get one roll of the dice in this Newcomers race, and Thomas Maxwell will be wanting to seize that with both hands. He does still lead, but that lead is being shortened every step of the way by Stephen Haddo on number 19. So bike number 1, Thomas Maxwell, is in first position. In second place is Stephen Haddo, but by just more than 10 seconds. Can he narrow that gap even further and make it a very, very nervy finish to this race? I'm sure it is already for Thomas Maxwell. Can he hold his nerve and win this race, or will Stephen Haddo overtake him right at the death? Back to you at the grandstand.
The gap between the top two is tighter in the A race than the B race for the first time over the first all the 4 laps that we've had. We're coming, though, to the finish now. The lights are on at Cronknamona for Maxwell and Haddo. They've come on at the same time, so all Maxwell's got to do is stay with Haddo. So lights on for 1 and 19. It's 10.7 the margin at Cronknamona. So Haddo, how costly is that 30-second penalty? Without that, he would have a comfortable 20-second odd lead, but with it, he knows that he's likely to finish second, and Maxwell is going to take the victory if he just keeps Stephen Haddo in his sight over these very, very closing stages on the run down from Cronknamona through Signpost, Governor's Bridge, and up onto Glen Crutchy Road here at the grandstand. So it is building up for the finish, and we should have both the bikes coming across the line almost together at the conclusion of this Manx Grand Prix Newcomers A race, as we look up the road to see Maxwell and Haddo. And there is Maxwell across the line, and there is your race winner, because Haddo crosses the line. The gap 12.8. Thomas Maxwell takes the victory ahead of Stephen Haddo by that margin. It's been a cracking fair, the Newcomers A race. Congratulations to both of them. Last lap for Maxwell of 115.083. For Haddo it was 116.188. We'll confirm third, but I can see your race winner Thomas Maxwell coming into the winners enclosure. Let's go down to Chris.
There we go. Andy Farrell straight in to tell him that he's won the Newcomers A. Gets a tap on the shoulder, gives a bit of a fist pump, and he runs his R6 down to the number 1 spot, the coveted. Here we go. Have a little bit of that. That is fantastic. Well done to Tommy Maxwell. Done to Stevie Haddo. Counting the cost of that pit stop, I'm sure he is. But let's have a little look. We'll just try and keep away from some of the language that's popping out here as well. But the boys are understandably happy. Sorry, Adam, just let you get round there. And well done. The first burnout of the week goes to Thomas Maxwell, and it's a pretty good one as well. Michael Dunlop never done a good one as that. Anyway, let him take his lid off, take his RI off, give him to the boys, gets the RI hat on. I'm sure going to take a big glug of fuel, and Stevie Haddo comes straight up to congratulate him. Thomas will let him take his earplugs out so we can hear what's going on. Maybe get some focus back and take some glug of that. You need a bit of that. That's hard work. Last lap of 115.083, winning the Newcomers A Manx Grand Prix by 12.842 seconds. Tom Maxwell, congratulations.
Oh, Jesus, great now. I'll tell you, I eased off the last 2 laps because the fuel light was coming on real early. I was starting to panic and I didn't realise I was getting different boards. People had me 1:38 round it, then I eased off, and then I got to the gooseneck. Someone said 10 seconds, and I started panicking then. And I actually thought I came second there, so delighted. I kind of got lucky with the 2 lads as well. So it took me. I got hard to get going there. The times weren't great. It was serious wind as well. I'm a bit big for the 600 now, but it was getting hard to hold on up there. The wind was blowing us all over the place. But Hodges is great now. Brilliant. Delight how to get that.
Well, the last lap, I'm looking at the splits on the last lap, it was about 24 seconds, then it went down to 21, it was 17 at Ramsey, down to 10 seconds at the bungalow, and then 10.7 you had it, but he was catching it, but he also had a 30-second penalty, Stephen did in the pit, so if he wouldn't have had that 30-second penalty, he'd have won by 18 seconds.
Yeah, I didn't really have much pace there now at all, but still I got the win anyhow, so.
Talk us through the rest of the conditions on track, apart from the wind, good, dry enough?
Yeah, it's very hard though, the wind is very, very tough.
Whereabouts?
The whole way down into Bray Hill, Ballagary, all there. This thing's very down in power. She wouldn't pull 6th anywhere.
Well, you can see in the speed trap, you were 147 and he was about 160 to the speed trap, so that'll explain that.
Oh God, it was dead. I'd say now I need an engine rebuild. How many? That's a lot. Like there's a big speed difference. But delighted now with that. Happy.
There's the man, he got the win.
Yeah, oh yeah. I was a bit lucky now, but sure.
Hey, listen, it's the Isle of Man. A lot of the guys around you are helping you. Will know all about TT, especially him there. He'll know all about that.
I have a great pit crew as well. Andy came on board and this man here behind us as well.
Obviously, Adam does a lot of stuff for Ivan Linton's team, the Daffabet team. That's a lot of experience.
Oh yeah, I come over here on my own. I was panicking. I had no one to help me, but I was delighted there now to come over here.
Oh, and Farrell helping you as well.
Oh yeah, he's the video camera. No, but only for the lads. Like, they kept me hard calm and everything. And it's great now. As I said, I come over here on my own and I do a great help to me. It's great to get that.
Congratulations, well done.
Thanks a million.
Thanks, Thomas. Well done. Cheers. Thanks for that. We'll get over to Stevie Haddo if we can. Sorry, guys. Stephen. Oh dear, that right wrist in the pit stop.
Yeah, I knew I had that. Just as I went by it, I seen 62 and I thought, I'm going to have to pull my finger out here to try and catch. So I tried. I had a couple of moments, to be fair, just pushing him maybe a wee bit too hard. I could have got by him, but I had a wee run on and I thought, right, just...
Where was that?
Just before Bagaro. Okay. So I thought, I'll ease it back a wee bit and fully. If I've got a penalty, I'm still going to be in second, so it's better coming home in one piece than having a crash. And I knew I wasn't going to make up maybe the time that I needed to get first, so we'll take a second.
Yeah, and you got it down to 10 seconds at the end, so you think you were 24 going out in the last lap, so you got 14 seconds back on that last lap. You ran on Bagaro, top of Bagaro, bottom of Bagaro, or just before by McGuinness's?
Just before, so it was just I had a couple of wee moments, so I
used the wind or just trying?
Just trying a lot. The wind was bad up the mountain, but I was trying pretty hard, so...
Well, speed trap times, your bike was flying through the speed traps, 116.188 on the last lap.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Happy with that. Congratulations on the second, well done.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Cheers. And I'll get the third place man, James Field, in now. Let's grab him if we can. And I think he's having a moment. I think just to. His knee's gone. Oh well. Welcome to my world every day, wandering round. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll get under this side. We won't make him stand up. Yeah, you're nearly at my height anyway. Well done. How's that? I bet you're knackered.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. Started feeling it after that lap 4 coming down Bray Hill. It's just like really aching, but no, I'm glad to get back.
Talk us through the rest of the race. Pit stop good?
Yeah, the boys are class. Yeah, really quick. I think I made quite a lot of time in the pit stop. So I had a pit board at Gwen's. Thanks a lot for putting that out. And I think I made like 20 seconds in the pit stop or something, daft. So yeah, thank you very much to the boys.
Hard work that. You look all in.
Yeah, I could do with a drink. I forgot my drink.
If anybody's got a drink for him, just bring him a drink over here. We'll sort one out. James, many congratulations. Well done, buddy.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Well done. Thanks. And let's get to the top 3 in newcomers B. Tim.
Up at the bungalow, and what had been a very, very tight affair with several changes of lead between Michael Rees and James Hind. Michael Rees has either really pulled the pin, or James Hind's just having a few issues with his bike, because the lead is steadily building now to Rees at Ramsey. We heard it was 18.498 seconds at the bungalow. I can tell you that Michael Rees now leads by 21.311 seconds as more finishers cross the line here at the grandstand. But yes, the lead is going increasingly out, and we're waiting for lights to come on at Cronknamona. And as soon as I say that, the light for number 28, Michael Rees, does come on, and he looks as if he's going to be the Newcomers B race winner. And we've seen Lloyd Collins just crossing the line on his Honda at 105.63. Herb Thompson before that, along with Alan Johnston. And they were at 108.55 for Herb, and for Alan 108.855. Andrew McAllister, a good last lap, number 8 at 109.91. And 111.79 for James Reveley. Grant Gaskell 113.14. Barry Sheehan is also the light on at Cronknamona, but we're waiting for the light to come on for James Hind. Michael Rees, though, is definitely the man in possession, and the light is on now for James Hind, and the lead is now just gone up a little bit on the rundown from Bungalow to Cronknamona. It's 22.6, but we're looking up the road to see Michael Rees come to claim a Newcomers victory. The checkered flag now waves, crossing the line, puts his head up above the screen, and yep, little nod of the head as he goes under the bridge. He realises he's done it. Congratulations to Michael Rees, who's the winner of the Manx Grand Prix Newcomers B. And we're going to have a little wait before we get second and third, but it looks as if it's going to be second for number 25 James Hind, and third will be number 22 Barry Sheehan. And Sheehan just crosses the line now, and we reckon he's in third position. But yep, taking the applause of the crowd and waving his fist as he comes up, is the race winner in the Newcomers. Down to Chris to see Michael Rees into the winners' enclosure.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic for this young man. Another person who's got a little bit of help from the Billy Redmayne Fund this year, like James Fields. Here we go. Michael Rees, of course, a brother, and Matthew Rees, who's competed at the TT and the Classic TT over a little bit of time, getting a big hug and everything from the guys. The rear stand going in. It is quite a big slope, and Dan Cooper in there as well. The family are in there too. It is kind of a little bit of a slope from the back to the front here now. We'll just let some pictures be taken there now, and we'll go with Michael Rees and see what his last lap was. 109.832 on the last lap. James Hind is in, Tim, is that correct? 25 seconds second?
24.9, yeah. 25, yes.
Thanks very much. Yeah, and Barry Sheehan confirmed in that third place, and let's grab Michael when he gets off the bike. Alex Sinclair in to say congratulations, and there he is. We're going to be hearing the Welsh anthem, I think. Take the gear off. Take the gear off. Oh, that look on his face inside that helmet says it all about the Manx Grand Prix racers. Everything that they've worked for, and he's not a young man either. He said he started his career quite late, and there's your second place man, James Hind, in. The official winning margin at the end was 24.964, and a last lap for Michael Rees of 109.832. Congratulations, sir.
Wow. What can I say? That was amazing, honestly, God. It's been 3 years coming here. This is why I'm a bit emotional. Sorry. The effort and the work I put in for this, the sacrifices, has been immense, you know. But yeah, obviously it's paid off. It was amazing, mega ride.
You and James Hind swapping the lead all over the place. You were 3 seconds up, then he was a second up, then you got it back, and then he got it back, and then on the third and fourth lap, you stretched your legs a bit.
We didn't have the best of pit stops. We had a little problem with the cap, so I thought, look, all's all lost, is just dig deep, and there was my game plan anyway. Steady way for the first two, keep a bit in the tank, and then on the second two, let it have it. That's what we did, and I think the fact that we had a little mishap with the fuel cap just urged me on even more, you know. Some of the places we was getting through, you know, I was getting experience of the track as well, you know. I was knowing where to push it and which way the wind was coming. Man, that was immense. Honestly, people have been saying to me, you know, all through the meet, you know, take care of the wind, take care of the wind. But today was the first time I really experienced that. It was wow.
Where was the worst bit?
Coming around by up towards the Black Cat on the section up through there. It just blew you completely offline. But yeah, mega, very happy.
Talk us through the rest of it then. Did you know where you were? Any boards out on track to know?
I did have the boards out, yeah. Dan was on the end of pit lane for me. Dan's been mega for the whole time we've been here, to be fair. Yeah, honestly, he's been wicked. We've been watching a bit of onboard back and just chatting me through some lines and stuff, you know. But yeah, so he was on the board for me, and still not enough. You know, you need a couple of boards out as well, just for peace of mind, you know, just to see where you are with it. It's such a long way.
Well, like I said to you, the lead was changing all the time, so that's a bit of experience again, isn't it?
Honestly, I didn't know. I knew I was like second with -2. He was telling me. Then I came back and I was first plus nothing, and I was like, oh, here we go. Grit the teeth and let's get on with it.
A newcomers Manx Grand Prix winner in Class B. How does that sound?
Oh my God! Wow.
It's the first time he's ever been quiet. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Well done, buddy. Cheers. Well done, guys. Well done, team. Let's get into James Hind if we can. James is here, and James, let's grab a quick word here on Manx Radio TT.
Yeah.
You give that everything. The little 250 was singing well, but just couldn't get him, could you? You and him were swapping the lead so many times.
Yeah, from me to Ramsey, I was trying my hardest. I knew that's where I was sort of fastest, but then over the mountain he was getting it on me, so...
Up the mountain climb, obviously with the EL6 with this, but the wind, he's just said, like through like obviously the Black Cut, you must have been on this little one blowing everywhere.
Oh yeah, going into Windy Corner, I was across the road, you know. Yeah.
Did you know what was happening with the race? He's speechless. Is this a first team? Is this a speechless thing, or does he normally talk a lot?
No, I don't talk a lot.
You don't talk a lot. Well, that's about right. Talk us through the rest of the race. Did you know where you were? Did you know you had the lead at one point?
Didn't know I had the lead. No, I was no pit boards anywhere. I knew when I come in, they told me I was leading to Ramsey, and then there was getting it back on me on the mountain. That's so I sort of knew that. Didn't know around the race. I was just trying my hardest.
How was the little girl? How's the 250 running? Good?
Yeah, singing all the way. She had a bit of a moment for a start, but yeah, she was all right. Yeah.
What happened?
She really, temperature went really high, and but I think it's a new temperature gauge, so I don't know, you know. But then after that, she was all right. Like.
She was all right. She was keeping a little line and keeping the 2 fingers on the clutch.
Oh, yeah, yeah, nearly burnt her out.
24.96 second a big gap over third. So congratulations, second in newcomers B. Well done.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you, thanks, James. Well done to you. Let's get over to Barry if we can. And where is Barry? He's over here. Let's grab a word. We spoke to him before the start of the race, and let's grab a word with Barry now if we can. Well, a little bit down in that third place, and only 8 seconds ahead of fourth place. Congratulations, third place. How does that feel to you? Speechless or taking it all in?
Yeah, it's kind of taken all in, I suppose, really, you know. I mean, I thought we'd be closer to the front, to be honest. The bike just wasn't pulling over the mountain at all. I'm just seeing the exhaust is after kind of coming apart there. So, yeah, that tells a lot, like. But, no, look, absolutely delighted. I mean, we came here with the aim of a podium. We got our podium. The boys have been absolutely amazing. Like, I can't thank my brother, my dad, and Tony, our mechanic. I cannot thank him enough. Like, they've been at the bike every single night, flat out. I'm so happy for them as well, you know. All week it's been us. It's not me, it's us. It's always been us all year, and I'm just so happy to be here now.
What about conditions out there? The boys saying it was tough work in that wind, having to really fight to change direction.
Yeah, very, very hard. And even sections that we didn't get it all week, like down in Bishop's Court, you could feel it windy and getting gusts of wind when you weren't expecting it. But over the mountain, I just took it steady over the mountain. You know, I mean, it kind of got worse, I think, as the session went on. But no, look, we're back. We did the 4 laps. We're absolutely wrecked, but we're happy.
Congratulations, well done.
Chris, thank you very much.
Not a problem at all, well done. There's your top 3 in newcomers B. Tim, hand it back to you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, delighted reactions, and he sounds just like his brother, doesn't he? Our race winner there in the newcomers B in Michael Rees, and we're looking down and we can see a Manx flag, a British flag, and the Irish flag at the bottom there of the podium ahead of those celebrations, and they will be coming out and into pit lane and across, and Let's just have a look and see. 101.15 there, I can tell you, for Veronika Hansikova. Has just crossed the line. She said her ambition was to get the 100-mile-an-hour lap. 98.4 on the first, 99.74, which was quickest of the week. And a race finish as well, and 101.15 miles per hour on the last lap. And she finishes in 10th place in the B race. So congratulations there to Veronika, who's just coming up the return way here. And let's give her a round of applause here. A terrific effort there as she got that ambition achieved on the last lap. And here she comes, getting a really good ovation as she heads now towards Parc Ferme. She'll stop in that stop box, but ambition achieved. Congratulations there to Veronika as she now heads in to meet her team, and I'm sure there'll be big hugs there from Mr. Dukoppel and Indy and the rest of them as they celebrate mission accomplished. Fantastic to see. It's not just we're obviously concentrating on the top three, but it's also about those personal goals and achievements further down the field, and it's always nice when you see one and acknowledge one being achieved. So congratulations there to Veronika Hansikova as we now look down on the bikes being lined up to go beneath the podium, and this will be the newcomers A podium, we're assuming. Yes, it is indeed, because there's the number 19 bike of Stephen Haddow being wheeled in, and there is the bike at number 1, Thomas Maxwell, which will be squeezed now in between the number 19 and 14 bike. The 14 bike, of course, of our third place man, James Field. And the riders making their way up as well. So there are two podiums to come here. We'll have the newcomers A first, and all the photographs taken and the champagne sprayed for that. And then we'll have the newcomers B podium. And a little bit of a break will be, I think, before 14:40 we are due to go with the practice session, the Manx Grand Prix Senior, Junior, Lightweight and Ultra Lightweight practice, but no newcomers. The last bike out there is on the course, just one, is belongs to number 20, and that is there's bike number 20, trying to find it, James Buchanan on the Triumph. He is indicated at the bungalow. Everyone else has finished. There was one just retirement we tell you about, which was at Gwen's Cottage in Bala for 31 on the last lap, Samuel Grief. But only 5 retirements in all. But let's now move to the Manx Grand Prix Newcomers A race podium and the fanfare. And the Manx flag and the Irish flag up there on the podium, and handing over the rewards will be Brian Reid. Nice to see Brian up there on the podium. So in third place on a Kawasaki, James Field. In second place on a Kawasaki, Stephen Haddow. And the Manx Grand Prix Newcomers A race winner on a Yamaha, Thomas Maxwell. And the Aitchison Trophy being presented to the winner of the Newcomers A race by Brian Reid, lifted in the air there by Thomas Maxwell. And the applause rings out, and we will now play the Irish National Anthem. Congratulations there, the Manx Grand Prix Newcomers A race podium. In third place, James Field. In second, Stephen Haddow. And our winner, Thomas Maxwell. It's champagne time. Who's going to win the race for the Corks? It is looking as if it's it's not coming. Yes, it is. Third place man, James Field, gets the cork off first. It's a reversal of the order for that, and yeah, respectfully done, and a little bit of champagne just spraying down onto the bikes below, but little bit of fizz there for Thomas Maxwell to enjoy that. So let's give them another round of applause. Newcomers A, James Field in third, Stephen Haddo in second, and your winner, Thomas Maxwell. So they'll now make their way down from the podium, and we'll have the photographs with the bikes, and we've got more bikes to bring in and 3 more men to go up onto the podium for the newcomers B race, which was a fascinating contest. While we're just waiting for all that to go, let's just go back to the A race and confirm that in 4th place was number 12, and our final finisher, number 20, just across the line now, and that's James Buchanan on the Triumph. So in 4th position was Arnie Shelton, 5th was number 17 Grant Gaskell, 6th was number 16 John Pielud from Switzerland, 7th was number 9 James Reveley, 8th was number 8 Andrew McAllister, 9th was number 6 Alan Johnston, 10th was number 11 Herb Sampson, 11th was number 2 Lloyd Collins, 12th number 3 Benjamin Plant, 13th was number 15 David Murphy, 14th was number 10 Paul Fallon, and 15th, you've just seen him across the line, number 20 James Buchanan. In the B race, we'll come to the top 3 in a moment. A last lap, though, of 109.832 for Michael Rees. 4th was number 33 Jack Fowler. 5th was number 21 Daniel Fernandez. 6th was number 27 Yoshihiro Kishimoto. 7th was number 24 Paul O'Rourke. 8th number 32 Ray Maloney. 9th number 26 Daniel Kappa, and in 10th number 30 Veronica Hansiver, and 101.148 on the last lap for Veronica. Congratulations indeed. So it will be the Manx and British flags that will go up on the occasion of the Manx Grand Prix Newcomers B race, and it will be the Braddon Bridge Trophy that will be presented to the winner. But still a few photographs just being taken of our A-class winner, Thomas Maxwell, down below, and we'll soon have 3 more bikes wheeled in to the 3rd, 2nd and 1st positions, and then we'll have the podium for the Manx Grand Prix Newcomers B race. Still no sunshine here at the grandstand. It's remained pretty overcast throughout, but it is dry, that's the main thing, and it looks as if the wind, because the flags, as Chris was saying, blown the other way, Chris Kinley earlier on, blown the other way from yesterday, but they're not out stiff anymore. They're looking a lot more limp across the road, as the wind just seems to have dropped a little bit ahead of course, a practice session that is coming up, and that is at 14:40, so 40 minutes time, the MGP Senior, Junior, Lightweight and Ultra Lightweight practice. No newcomers, though, will be out. I'm just interested to see that Hector Neal is an interested spectator down there, and has just gone to congratulate our race winner, Thomas Maxwell, there, and just gives him a pat on the shoulder, and congratulations being offered from the boss there of Tyco BMW, Hector Neal. Nice to see him back on the island. So I think we are done, and the number 1 bike in the number 1 position will now be wheeled away, and we'll wheel in the remaining bikes, the 3 for the podium, of in 3rd Barry Sheehan. Barry Sheehan was on bike number 22. In 2nd place it was James Hind, and James Hind is on bike number 25, and the race winner Michael Rees is on bike number 28. So those are the order they will go in, and we've got the little 1, 2, 3 signs from the winners enclosure as well, brought up pit lane to be put in front of the bikes, and once we get the nod from downstairs that all the riders are assembled and ready to go up on the podium, we will proceed. But I can see a Welsh flag being proudly displayed down there in pit lane, and So an Irish winner and a Welsh winner, and he's going to be taking that, I think, up. Is our race winner Michael Rees onto the podium. And need to get the riders lined up first of all, and Brian Reed will be making once again the presentations up there, the garlanding on the podium. He is the official garlander. And yep, just step forward, gents, for the podium, and we can crack on. Just one more rider missing. Yep, there we are. He's making his way forward now, and we move then to the Manx Grand Prix Newcomers B race podium, and let's bring on the fanfare. So the Union Jack is there, and the Manx flag. And onto the podium in third is Barry Sheehan, our race winner. Onto that top step, Michael Rees and James Hind making his way up, and they've had to swap around. They've got the wrong order there, chaps. Right. Well, Brian Reed will make the presentation. So in third, on a Kawasaki, Barry Sheehan. In second place, on a Yamaha, James Hind. And the Manx Grand Prix Newcomers B race winner on a Kawasaki, Michael Rees. And the Braddon Bridge Trophy is presented and lifted in the air now by Michael Rees up there on the top step of the podium. A huge big smile and grin. He's delighted with that victory. And with the trophy presented, let's now play the British National Anthem.